10 most polite cities in the UK. Britons are generally polite people, but they have their own definition of politeness. Even by the country's own definition of acceptable and unacceptable conduct, you'll still find that some cities are full of rude residents. Hey, we aren't going into that today. That's why we won't name a city in that category in this video. If you want to learn more about where you'll find such people, please search for our videos about the rudest cities in the UK and the one that deals with the real rudest city in the country. For now, please let's focus on the most polite cities in the UK. After watching this video, remember to let us know if your loved city is there. A clear indicator. But how do we know whether or not a city is polite? Even if we've been to all cities, we can't determine how polite or impolite the people in those cities are within just a few days we spent there, unless we don't care about objectivity. So the best way to make a solid determination about how polite a city is engaging its residents, you can therefore visit a number of them that are outstandingly polite or good to confirm if the popular opinions about them agree with the realities on the ground. That's the exact approach we are basing the facts in this video on. A survey conducted by an e-learning is quite instructive on this matter. More than 1,500 residents of the 30 UK's largest metropolitan areas were asked to rate the rudeness of the average resident in their city. They were to use a scale of 1 to 10 in the said rating. On that rating, the rudest should be scored 10, while the most polite 1. The idea behind this survey is to assist travellers in determining what to expect when visiting each of those cities. Well, we can vouch for the veracity of the data derived from the survey that took place from November 2nd to 7th, 2022 in the 19 largest cities in the UK. To be eligible to partake in the survey, a resident is expected to have lived in the city he's required to rate for at least 12 months. This alone shows that they should know what they wrote about their respective cities. Some 47.04% of respondents identified as male, while 52.96% identified as female. Summary of the findings. 10. Newcastle. The city rated 10th most polite in the country is Newcastle. The city, also a metropolitan borough in Tyne and Wear, is located on the River Tyne's northern bank. As the largest part of the Tyneside, it's regarded as a friendly town. You don't even need any survey before naming Newcastle as a polite city. The data only helps us to put it in the right position on this list. It's often said that compared to living down south, Geordies, as the people of Newcastle are called, stand out as one of the friendliest people in the UK. In the summary of the survey, the city scores 5.38. 9. Liverpool. Hardly would anyone contest the assertion that Liverpudlians are a polite people. One good virtue highlighted by all participants in the survey is the generosity of the people of Liverpool. They're the most generous people as they scored very low for the rude behaviour of not giving tips. The truth is that the people of Liverpool have several other polite conducts. Okay, let's blow your mind by referring you one of our videos about them. Please search on this channel for our videos entitled 10 Reasons Why You Should Move to Liverpool and 10 Reasons Why Liverpool is the Best City in the UK. Back to this survey, Liverpool scores 5.31 as the 9th most polite city in the UK. 8. Southampton. The next city is on the list, Southampton. The port city in Hampshire, England, located approximately 130 kilometres southwest of London, scores 5.31 to tie with Liverpool on this list on the table of the 10 most polite cities in the UK. But that wasn't the first time the city would be ranked that positive. In 2021, Southampton enjoyed the same ranking in the UK. The use of swear words in online comments was looked at in the ranking. Soutonians, as the people of Southampton are called, were the 4th most polite, with the city averaging 39 swear words per 1,000 comments. 7. Manchester. The home of Mancunians, as those born or living in this city are called, is the 7th city on this list. Manchester is another city where you don't need any figures before determining by the rule of thumb that it's a polite city. Manchester's average rudeness score is 5.24. An average driver in the city would easily allow you to merge in traffic. You'd hardly find a Mancunian watching a video in public or talking to the speaker in public. They don't use closed-off body language and are generally not rude to service staff. On the aforementioned rude behaviours, Manchester scores remarkably low. 6. Leicester. With an average rudeness score of 5.20, Leicester comfortably sits on the 6th position on the list of the most polite cities in the UK. Leicesterians are polite people when it comes to maintaining orderliness in queues. They don't jump. The city scores 4.50 on this, and that is where it has the lowest score. 5. Nottingham. In the 5th position is Nottingham, a city doubling as a unitary authority area in Nottinghamshire in East Midlands. With an average rudeness total score of 5.17, Nottingham is the city where you'll see the least number of people jumping in queues. As polite as the people are, their city scores 4.39 for this as against the total average of 5.02. In fact, only Sheffield with an average score of 4.00 for jumping queues scores lower than Nottingham. The city also scores lower than the country's average and less than 5.00 on rude behaviours of not tipping and closed-off body language. 4. Cardiff. Cardiff in Wales breeds polite residents, and that's why it could be found in the 4th position on this list. It has an average rudeness of 5.09 thanks to the outstanding politeness of the Cardiffians. In Cardiff, people don't watch videos in public. That's why it would score as low as 4.51 for this rude behaviour, while the UK overall is 5.25. It scores lower than any other city on this list. The use of closed-off body language is also avoided in this city as it scores as low as 4.55 on this, lower than the UK average of 5.13. Talking to a speaker in public is also frowned upon as it scores 4.64 for that. 3. Bradford. Coasting home find Bradfordians among the best behaved people in the UK. With an average rudeness score of 4.90, Bradford sits comfortably on this list. Bradford tops the list as the most polite when it comes to talking to the speaker in public, with an average score of 4.36 as against the UK overall score of 4.93. It also scores so low in the aspect of being rude to service staff, where it scores 4.55 when the UK overall score is 5.04. It also scores low in the aspect of rude behaviours of not tipping, closed-off body language, and watching videos in public. 2. Derby. Derby attempts to wear the crown of the most polite city in the UK, but it narrowly loses to Sheffield. So we reckon with it as the second city for this. It's unopposed for that position, as the facts and figures show. The rude behaviour where Derby scores the lowest is not respecting personal space, where it scores 4.00. It actually leads every other city, as none scores as low as that amongst the ones surveyed. You can expect to be treated with the utmost respect when next you visit Derby. 1. Sheffield. Sheffield comes top as the most polite city in the UK. Though in close competition with Derby, as both have an average rudeness score of 4.90, it is rated more lowly for most of the 12 rude behaviours common in the United Kingdom. For instance, all of the cities surveyed, it has the lowest score of 4.54 for tipping and watching videos in public, as against the national average scores of 5.13 and 5.25 respectively. Also, on talking to the speaker in public, it scores 4.31, which is the lowest score as against the national score of 4.93. Sheffielders are quite generous people. On the rude behaviour of not tipping, their city has the second lowest score of 4.54, while the national average score is 5.13. On most of the other rude behaviours, it is rated second or lowest. Please, we'd love this discussion to continue. Is your loved city on this list? Kindly tell us what your thoughts are about the 10 most polite cities in the UK. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell.